Hello and a very good morning. You're watching the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television with me, Frank Pereira. Here are the latest headlines. Anil Goswami quits as Home Secretary after being asked to go for interfering in CBI investigations into the Sharda scam. LC Goyal to take over as Home Secretary. Campaigning ends today for the Delhi Assembly elections to be held on Saturday. Parties pull out all stops in last-ditch efforts to woo the voter. War of words continues between BJP and Aam Aadmi Party over the funding row. Kejriwal counters with claims that government agencies are to blame. Jordan vows to keep up a strong fight against the Islamic State, saying the death of the pilot will not go in vain. And at the National Games, Chen Singh wins his second gold in shooting and Gurpreet Singh tops in the pistol event. Haryana and services neck and neck in the medals tally. Our top story on the Bulletin this morning, Home Secretary Anil Goswami resigned late yesterday, soon after being asked to put in his papers over allegedly trying to stall the arrest of Sharda scam accused former Congress Minister Matang Singh. Here's a report.
It was almost an unceremonious sacking. Home Secretary Anil Goswami was allowed to resign only for the sake of a dignified exit. His tenure was to have gone on till July. The trigger, Goswami is talking directly to CBI officials probing the Sharda scam in connection with former Congress Minister Matang Singh's arrest. He reportedly admitted he had made the call to CBI officers but did not interfere in the case. Goswami is a 1978 batch IAS officer of Jammu and Kashmir cadre. He was appointed as Home Secretary in 2013 during the tenure of the UPA government. He is said to have been close to Matang Singh, a controversial politician from Assam who was a Minister of State for Home in the PV Narasimha Rao government. LC Goyal, an officer of the 1979 Kerala cadre who was the Secretary of the Rural Development Ministry, is to take over as the new Home Secretary. This is the second instance of removal of a top bureaucrat in a week after Foreign Secretary Sujata Singh's services were curtailed last Wednesday after she refused to resign from the post, though there were no allegations of impropriety in that case. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Moving on now, it will be the last day of campaigning today for the Delhi Assembly elections. Polling is to be held in a single phase on Saturday and candidates and party bigwigs are all out there making last-ditch efforts to woo the voter. From the Prime Minister himself to Rahul Gandhi for the Congress and Arvind Kejriwal for the Aam Aadmi Party. Let's take a look.
Star campaigners of all parties, BJP, Aam Aadmi Party and Congress were on campaign trail, addressing rallies and roadshows, crisscrossing the city in a last-ditch effort. Prime Minister Modi once again raises the development promise as he rejects opinion polls that favor the Aam Aadmi Party.
किस प्रकार के लोग हैं, बातें कैसी करते और कारनामे कैसे करते? भाइयों बहनों, जनता जनार्दन अगर कोई एक आध बार गलती कर दे तो माफ कर देती है, लेकिन अगर लोग जनता को अगर मूर्ख मान ले और अपनी रोजी रोटी चलाने की कोशिश करे तो बार बार वो नहीं चल सकती है.
Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi addressed a rally in Azadpur. He took a dig at Prime Minister Modi, accusing him of doublespeak on the Make in India campaign.
करोड़ों रुपए मार्केटिंग में लगा दिए कि भैया मेक इन इंडिया, मेक इन इंडिया, मेक इन इंडिया. आप मुझे बताओ, मेक इन इंडिया कुछ बना? कुछ बना? 10 लाख रुपए का सूट पहनते हैं, अखबार के लोग कहते हैं वो भी मेक इन इंडिया नहीं है, वो भी मेक इन यूके है.
Aam Aadmi Party held an all-women rally in Krishnanagar, the constituency from where BJP's chief ministerial candidate Kiran Bedi will be trying her luck. Kejriwal's mother too campaigned for her son in the constituency.
जनता हमारे साथ है, हम लोग बहुमत से जीत के आएंगे.
ये एक पार्टी आई है जो करप्शन को कंट्रोल करेगी और गरीबों को इज्जत के संग रहने का चांस देगी.
The campaigning for one of the most heated contests of the Delhi polls comes to an end in a few hours. The voting will take place on 7th of February on Saturday, followed by the counting of votes on 10th February. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, there was another shot in the arm for the Aam Aadmi Party besides the opinion poll figures in their favour. The left parties have asked their members to vote in favour of Kejriwal's party in seats where the left is not in the fray. The left parties have candidates in only 15 seats of Delhi's 70, so left supporters in the remaining 55 seats have been asked to vote for the Aam Aadmi Party. A similar call had been given by the party ahead of the 2013 Delhi Assembly elections. Party General Secretary said that the line of the party was not to support the Congress and the BJP, and especially the latter. He said that his party has taken similar stands earlier as well and had even voted for the BSP in the Delhi elections earlier. The Janata Dal Secular of former Prime Minister H.D. Devegowda also made a similar appeal.
If attack on democracy, we will join hands with anyone. And we have said here, in the fight against communalism, we will work for the broadest mobilization of all secular democratic forces.
Joining me for a chat this morning on what's happening in Delhi is the editorial consultant of the DNA, Parsa Venkateshwar Rao. Good morning, Parsa, and thanks for joining us on the program. You know, a lot has happened. We've seen, barbs being exchanged between Aam Aadmi Party, the Congress and the BJP. But here you have the left who's come out in support of the Aam Aadmi Party. What do you make of it? Do you think it's a shot in the arm as far as the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned?
I'm not too sure because what is the popular strength of the left in the capital? They do have some of the articulate classes, some of the secular-minded people who are with them, but I think they are in a minority. So the AAP is not really depending on the communist support as such. I mean, either to win or to lose.
Indeed.
I don't think it doesn't make any critical difference.
Okay. Now, as far as the Delhi elections itself are concerned, it seems like it's going to be a two-horse race this time around between the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP. Too close to call, do you think, or do you think that the opinion polls who are in favor of the Aam Aadmi Party and the Aam Aadmi Party might just come up on top?
It looks very close, but I think one must stick one's neck out and say AAP has an advantage. AAP has an advantage because I think, this is my personal view from speaking to the people, that most of the poor people in the city seem to favor AAP. And the middle classes are distinctly disenchanted with AAP. So there is some sort of a general polarization, not in a pejorative sense, not in a diabolical sense, but there is a class divide. The poor are with the AAP and the not so poor and the comfortable middle class are with the BJP. So it's a nice, interesting battle, contest of classes.
Indeed, a nice, interesting battle, contest of classes, as you put it, is very apt, of course. But today is the last day of campaigning. Can we expect something different? What can we expect as far as the last day of campaigning is concerned?
I think it has reached its peak in the last 2 days, where both the parties have been shouting at the loudest, especially the BJP accusing the AAP about the funding factor, that unknown sources have given money to the party, and AAP hitting back saying that the BJP itself should make clear of its own funding practices. But I think this is gloves off in the last 2 days, sort of. But I don't think they can go anything beyond this unless either side comes out with some new thing. But that would be a mere antic at this stage. Now I think they may have to, last day they have to state their positions, and they have already done so. So this will be more or less door-to-door personal thing the last 2 days. I don't think any new issues will come out.
All right. Indeed, the gloves are well and truly off. And talking about the funding issue, of course, let's talk about that right now. In all the verbal spats and political between contenders ahead of the Delhi polls, the central focus has indeed been the debate on transparency in political funding. Controversy over dubious funding has frequently been the topic of the war of words in the run-up to the election. Here's a report.
The BJP on Wednesday kept up its attack on the Aam Aadmi Party on funding from dubious sources, alleging that party leader Kejriwal was shying away from giving answers.
The company is fictitious, the address is fictitious, and the gentleman director who is supposed to have given the money was found to be absent.
Bank has given an account number. the income tax has given a PAN number, and registrar of companies has registered the companies. Are these three departments had done some due diligence?
Stung by money laundering acquisitions, for AAP often seems to be the best defense. Section 182 of the Companies Act allows company that show a profit for 3 financial years to make political donations to the tune of 7.5% of the profits. None of the 4 companies that made donations to the AAP, however, posted profits in balance sheet. In fact, showed dormancy for the last 2 years.
This fine actually may go up to 5 times the amount of this contribution on the company. It will also, it is possible to take it to every officer in default, where it can go up to an imprisonment of up to 6 months or 5 times the amount contributed again on each officer.
Section 29C of the Representation of the People's Act requires all political parties to furnish an annual statement of all contributions in excess of 20,000 rupees to the Election Commission, giving names and addresses of the donors. But a report prepared by the National Institute of Public Finance and Policy says over 75% of parties' income comes from opaque sources. The Congress, BJP, NCP, CPM, AIADMK, SP, JDU, Lok Janshakti Party, RLD, SAD did not maintain or disclose the names and addresses of contributors during financial years 2009-2010 and 2010-2011. The advocacy group Association for Democratic Reforms has found out that corporates and business houses provided 90% donations to national political parties in 2013-14.
इस वक्त जो कॉर्पोरेट फंडिंग कॉर्पोरेशंस कर रही हैं, पिछले 10-12 साल में जो ट्रेंड है वो है कॉर्पोरेट ट्रस्ट करके, इलेक्टोरल ट्रस्ट बना के किया है.
The Election Commission has raised transparency guidelines to the political parties for receiving funds, but the constitutional body needs an amendment in law to empower it to step in. With Ravindra Shoran, Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
Parsa, coming back to you now, this particular issue has taken center stage, especially this week. Should all political parties, clearly disclose their funding?
I think it's going to be a very tricky issue because I do not think parties or the donors are willing to come out openly and make this funding business transparent enough. It will take time, and I think the change is coming about slowly, but it is not going to happen overnight.
Who's going to bring about this change? Because if there's no political will, really, where do you see this change coming from?
I think the political parties will themselves do this because they see a change in the mood and expectations of the people. And now there is a large chunk of people, individuals, middle class individuals, well-off individuals who will be contributing to the party funds. It is not just the corporates. I think we will be going the American way, where individual contributions will be larger than what the corporations will do. And in that case, people would like to be recognized for the contributions they make. And they are going to make more and more through checks rather than the cash payments. So, and it is also linked to a certain extent with the circulation of black money within the domestic economy. I think it will just go down slowly, but it is not going to happen overnight. But it's good that every time people raise from all parties to raise the question of illegal funding, but of course they do it only to score brownie points against their rivals. I do not think they are very serious in the issue itself.
And as far as the Aam Aadmi Party funding controversy is concerned, do you think that that was blown out of proportion to get some brownie points as far as the Delhi polls were concerned, or do you think there was some kind of, some truth to it and some kind of a problem to it as such?
Personally, I think BJP has overplayed its hand in this particular instance. It may be the case, then it will go beyond the election date. If there is some irregularity in this particular contribution to the AAP election fund, I think the departments that are concerned with it should go ahead and inquire into it. But BJP making a big issue out of it so as to vilify or nail the lie of the opponent, I think it didn't really work. As a matter of fact, I don't know. I feel that it must have boomeranged because people have more sympathy for the AAP, that it's being sort of pushed to the wall.
All right, Partha Venkateshwar Rao will have to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining us on the program this morning and putting things into perspective for us on several of those crucial subjects. Of course, we'll slip into a short break here, but still to come. Boko Haram carries out another brutal massacre on the Nigeria-Cameroon border. Close to 70 people brutally killed. That and much more coming up. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hello and a warm welcome to It's My Life. This week we are in the city of lakes in Punjab, that's Bhatinda. What kind of memories really come to you when you come in the middle of the mustard field?
Like a sight for sore eyes which takes away all your tiredness.
You miss those moments when a wife cooks for her husband the favorite dishes?
My wife never cooks at all.
Watch me on It's My Life on Rajya Sabha TV.
Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha Television. Let's take a look now at some news-making events lined up for the day today in our special segment, The Day Ahead. Final push to woo the voter on the last day of campaigning for the Delhi polls. Today, BJP MPs and union ministers will hold at least one rally in each of the 70 constituencies. Former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh will also be seen lending voice for the Congress's campaign. Arvind Kejriwal and Aam Aadmi Party workers will also be holding roadshows around the city. Two top French ministers are to arrive in India today to give a boost to the bilateral cooperation in varied sectors. Foreign Minister Laurent Fabius and Environment Minister Ségolène Royal will be here shortly. During the three-day visit, Fabius will be addressing an international climate meet. He is expected to call on the Prime Minister and hold talks with External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj. Royal will meet his counterpart Prakash Javadekar to discuss environmental issues and climate change. Reports say that the Prime Minister may visit France later this year. Counting of votes for Rajasthan Panchayat polls began today at 8 a.m. Zilla Parishads and Panchayat Samitis went to polls in three phases in Rajasthan last month. Counting for all 33 districts is underway. Names of those elected for the 1,014 ward members of Zilla Parishad and 6,233 members of Panchayat Samiti will soon be out. The polls are seen as a referendum of sorts for the BJP government in the state. Moving on now, a CBI court in Mumbai has discharged Gujarat's former police chief PC Pandey in the fake encounter killing case of Tulsiram Prajapati and aide of slain gangster Shorabuddin Sheikh. The court said charges against Pandey stand dropped for want of sanction from the state government for his prosecution. Last month, the same court had discharged BJP President Amit Shah in the Shorabuddin Sheikh and Prajapati cases, saying there was no case against him and that he had been implicated for political reasons. Shorabuddin was killed in a fake encounter near Gandhinagar in November 2005. Tulsiram Prajapati, an aide of the gangster and an eyewitness to the encounter, was allegedly killed by police in Banaskantha district in Gujarat in December 2006. Moving on to some international news now, 31 people are now reported killed in the dramatic TransAsia Airways plane crash in Taiwan yesterday. The plane was carrying 58 people when it clipped a bridge before plunging into the river. It's still not clear at what point things went wrong, resulting in the accident.
These dramatic footages went viral soon after the fatal crash in Taipei on Wednesday morning. A TransAsia Airways plane crashed with all 58 people on board before clipping a vehicle and a bridge. Aviation officials said the plane crashed minutes after taking off Songshan Airport after losing contact with the control tower. A rescue operation was launched soon after. Footage showed survivors wearing life jackets, wading and swimming clear of wreckage. Others, including a young child, were taken to the shore by rescuers. Taiwanese military said it will set up a floating bridge to assist in the search and rescue effort.
我们有关这个福门桥搭设之后，它是可以在水上作业，所以说这个目前以目前的这个状况，我们是先搭设 在水上在水上来作业，然后协助各项的救援任务，配合舟艇的这个救援。
The black boxes from the plane had been recovered, but the cause of the accident is still not clear. However, according to an air traffic control recording, one of the pilots had flagged engine flame out moments before the crash. Trans-Asia Airways Authority said the cause of the crash is under investigation.
我首先代表复兴航空，在这边再一次的为，那我想在复兴从去年年中之后啊，在所有的这个飞安管理上面也接受局里的一个深度的一个检查。那目前其实都在不管是航机务啊，这个飞安的体系方面，都是有接受很严格的这样的一个规范。
This was the second serious incident involving a Trans-Asia Airways plane in a few months after another flight operated by the domestic airline crashed in July during a storm, killing 48 people. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Some more international news now. Jordan's King Abdullah has promised to fight back hard against Islamic State, saying that the death of a Jordanian pilot will not be in vain. Hours after the grisly video of the killing was released on Tuesday, Jordan executed 2 Al-Qaeda prisoners and said it will continue a crackdown against the group.
A man resembling Jordanian pilot Mohd Al-Qasabi stands in a black cage before being set ablaze. He wears orange clothes similar to those worn by other foreign Islamic State captives who have been shown in brutal videos over the last few months. Incidentally, the video appeared at a time when Jordan's King Abdullah met US lawmakers for a deal against the terror group. Jordan prepared for a strong response after protests erupted over the killing.
الوقوف صفا واحدا وإظهار معدن الشعب الأردني الأصيل في مواجهة الشدائد والمحن والتي لن تزيدنا إلا قوة وتلاحما.
أقول لكم الخير بالخير والبادي أنفع والشر بالشر والبادي أضر.
And the reply was prompt and tough. 2 Al-Qaeda captives, one of them a female suicide bomber, were executed by hanging. Islamic State has demanded release of the female bomber to free the Jordanian pilot. UN joined in global condemnation of the latest gruesome act by the Islamic State group.
Condemns the killing of Jordanian Royal Air Force pilot Mohd Al-Qasabi by Daesh, a terrorist organization with no regard for human life.
The pilot was captured after crashing during an NTIS mission over Syria in December. This is the third killing by Islamic State within weeks of the beheading of 2 Japanese hostages. Special prayers were held in Jordan to mourn the death of the pilot. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, let's now get you all the other international news and updates in our segment World Wrap. Boko Haram insurgents killed scores of people on the Nigeria-Cameroon border on Wednesday, slitting throats and shooting victims. Reports say that the attackers moved door-to-door, slaughtering people in the pre-dawn raid on the town of Fotokol. They opened fire on at least 3 mosques, including the central mosque, as worshippers were offering their morning prayers. They burned the central mosque after killing worshippers, including the imam. A court in Egypt has sentenced 230 people to life in prison over their role in the protests that toppled former President Hosni Mubarak in 2011. Among the defendants was the prominent liberal activist Ahmed Douma, already imprisoned for a violation of Egypt's new public order law. Douma was also fined $2.2 million for setting fire to a science academy housing rare manuscripts. Last week, Egypt had sent 183 people to the gallows in the case. Pro-Russian rebels appeared to be in full control on Wednesday of one of the towns that has been a principal target of their advance as they attempt to surround a nearby garrison of Ukrainian forces. Kiev's Western allies are alarmed over the rebel advance in recent weeks, which scuppered a 5-month-old ceasefire. US Secretary of State John Kerry is due to visit Kiev on Thursday amid talk that Washington might begin to provide weapons to the Ukrainian government for the first time. The number of new cases of Ebola rose in all three of West Africa's worst hit countries last week, the World Health Organization said on Wednesday, ending several weeks of encouraging declines across the region. It is the first weekly increase in 2015. The WHO says Sierra Leone registered 80 of the 124 cases, Guinea 39 and Liberia the remaining 5. Almost 9,000 people have died from Ebola since December 2013. And a look now at the global stock markets. US stocks closed lower on Wednesday as energy shares slid with oil prices and investors' anxiety about the Eurozone returned in the closing minutes of trading. In the US markets, the Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 6.62 points or 0.04% to close the day at 17,673. Standard & Poor's 500 lost 8.52 points or 0.42% to end the business at 2,041. The Nasdaq Composite dropped 11.04 points or 0.23% to finish at 4,716. Gold prices fell on Wednesday by 180 or 0.37% at 28,090 per 10 grams on slackened demand from jewelers and retailers amid a weakening global trend. Silver also declined by 50 rupees or 0.43% to 38,400 per kilogram on reduced offtake by industrial units and coin makers. Asian stocks dropped on Wednesday as the euro held declines against the yen and the renegotiation of Greece's debt fell off. Japan's Nikkei dropped 108.15 points or 0.61% to close at 17,570. Hong Kong's Hang Seng lost 124.98 points or 0.51% to end the trading at 24,679. Well, let's take a look now at some updates from the ongoing 35th National Games in Kerala. Chain Singh continued his good form as he claimed another gold medal in the rifle shooting. Singh, competing for services, beat Akhil Sharon of Uttar Pradesh to win the 10-meter air rifle shooting event. He had one 50-meter rifle pro event on Tuesday. Gurpreet Singh of the services claimed the gold medal in the 25-meter standard pistol event in the National Games today. Gurpreet shot a total of 572 points ahead of Mahindra Singh of Madhya Pradesh, who finished with the silver medal. Olympic silver medalist Vijay Kumar had to settle for bronze. In squash, the seasoned duo Joshna Chinnappa and Saurav Ghoshal clinched the individual gold. In women's singles, Joshna Chinnappa did not have much trouble in defeating Lakshya 11-5, 11-8, 11-4 in the final. In the men's section, Asian Games gold medalist Saurav Ghoshal won 4-11, 11-4, 11-8, 11-6 to walk away with the top honours. Manipur's Geeta Devi won the gold in the women's 69-kilogram weightlifting event. Geeta defeated the opponent of Mizoram and Aruna Rani of Andhra Pradesh, who won the silver and bronze in the event. Let's take a look now at the medals tally at the games so far. Haryana has edged past Services SCB to the top with a total of 33 medals, 21 gold, 8 silver and 4 bronze. Haryana has 35 medals in all but comes in second with 21 gold, 5 silver and 9 bronze medals. Maharashtra with 14 gold medals is in the third position, while host Kerala with 7 gold medals is in the fourth position. And finally, there's just about a week to go for the world's biggest carnival in Rio de Janeiro, and the city is busy pulling together the final preparations for its famous street parties and samba parades. Take a look at the color and vibrance on display here. Bye-bye.